Was this the most impressive performance of the weekend?
The answer is yes. The Cowboys put on the most impressive show of this weekend. Does not mean they're the best team in the NFL, people. It means this weekend they had the most impressive performance. First of all, you have to consider the quality of opposition. Say whatever you want about Kansas City, the way they've played recently, which still ain't bad. But the way they have already this year, Kansas City has wins against the Patriots and the Eagles. Already, maybe the two best teams in each conference, right? They already have that, and yet the Cowboys basically did whatever they wanted. If not for a few errors on the Cowboys side, it wouldn't have been interesting at all, not even an interesting game. And why is that? Well, we know Dak Prescott is special, and he was special again yesterday. And Ezekiel Elliott obviously gives you a premium over replacement value because they got a couple of good running backs on their bench. But the difference between those guys running behind a good O-line and Ezekiel Elliott running behind a good O-line, night and day. So he's also special. But what impressed me the most about the Cowboys' win, again against a quality team, was the defense. The open field tackling. That's what Kansas City couldn't really deal with. Think about that for a second. The Cowboys defense shows up. Sean Lee, by the way, that guy is the heart and soul of that defense. That's a linebacker right there. The open field tackling of the Dallas Cowboys was the difference. Kansas City couldn't do anything. And so the Cowboys turned in the most impressive performance this weekend.
First of all, that's not true, number one. Number two, I think that on a day like today, more so than any other day of the year, as we sit here amongst our military servicemen and women to call a team, a franchise rife with mediocrity for the last 22 years, America's team is just disgusting. America is great, okay? Our military is great. And there is absolutely, positively nothing that has been great about the Cowboys. We will call them the Dallas Cowboys, but we will not call them America's team on this day. On this day. Now that we've gotten that out the way, let's be clear, the Kansas City Chiefs have not been what they started off the season as being. I don't know if you've noticed this or not, Max, but they haven't really run the ball in the last 3 or 4 games. I mean, the running attack is what propelled them. We knew it wasn't Alex Smith. We knew it wasn't their passing game. We knew it was about their running game. Excuse me, Tyreek Hill is a bad boy, but Kareem Hunt is the man as well. And the reality of the situation is that over the last several weeks, they have not been running the football. They haven't had a 100-yard game from anybody in the last 4 games, which is why they've lost 3 of the last 4. So we have to recognize that. The other important point is this. Did you see the Eagles romp the Broncos? I mean, romped them. We'll talk about that. Did you see the Saints romp Tampa Bay to the point where Mike Evans is giving cheap shots? And we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the show. Even though it was against the Giants, the reality is that nobody expected the Los Angeles Rams to be as relevant as they are, and they'll go into MetLife Stadium and they get a team to literally quit on national television on their coach.
Ago.
Excuse me, they look bad, but they ain't quit like they quit yesterday.
Yes, they did.
That was just bad, okay? So I look at it from the perspective.
You're saying the Broncos is an equivalent win to a win over the Chiefs?
I'm saying to you, the Eagles, the way they performed was considerably better than what I saw from the Cowboys.
Got to take quality of competition into account.
I say the Saints. Well, I'm taking the quality of competition into account because it's not just about your record.
When I whoop you on this show, that's more impressive than if they just put anyone in that seat. Well, I deserve extra credit for whooping you.
I think it's important that you don't lie to American people. Not today. Okay? Stop lying. I mean, be honest. The fact of the matter is that there were at least a couple of performances. I'd put the Eagles and the Saints performances right up there, if not better than the Cowboys, is the answer to my question.
I think, listen, this happens in boxing all the time, right? A guy can look like a world beater if you match him right. Those other teams, every team you mentioned had an impressive performance. There's no doubt about it. But whatever you want to say about the Chiefs, they're still a good team. They're not a bad team by any stretch. And Dallas just handled them.